we can say what we're thinking. We're a lot of people are saying Team Spirit. We're baiting with the the tier list there, just putting
Yeah.
out some memes. So I
Yeah.
do want to mention we're not seeing Team Spirit, and we don't know what kind of all of Eastern Europe are doing with their scrims and everything. I thought we were going to get a little bit more of the Earth Spirit, but obviously a lot of the higher level teams are feeling this series not as strong at the moment.
Grimstroke PA. So I don't think PA feels all right here. It's got a lot of insta burst potential with the ultimate physical damage against Death Prophet. I think unfortunately for PA, like you just don't see much on the other side. So you're not sure what you're really picking PA into as far as the carry and mid goes. But I think PA in general is an okay carry to pick blind. Like it's not a hero that has too many horrible counters. And if anything, it has that kind of, I consider like the Nyx assassin effect where you pick it. And then there's certain carries you just don't want to play into it. Like you don't want to pick those invoker type mids against Nyx. There's a lot of carries, the right click carries that don't want to build MKB that are bad against PA. So it does kind of deter your opponents from picking a lot of things.
Yeah, and also because PA is very physical damage reliant, you look to go for someone who's mainly agility, has a crap load of base armor. But that's potentially where the Pugna can come into play, or the Tiny, or the Grimstroke. So this carry pick for Savage is actually a bit awkward here, I feel.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, if you can just go for the kind of safe, standard, and boring Wraith King again, if you want. It's not a hero that matches up bad against PA, or it's just like a neutral matchup where neither hero interacts like in a positive or negative way against each other. I feel that's just the safe option. They played it in game one. They may just want to stick with it. But at the same time, it felt like the Wraith King struggled a bit until later on. Like the Pugna caused a lot of problems for the Wraith King, so they may have something else in mind. You definitely want to be looking at BKB carries playing into Pugna, Grim, Tiny, even though there's a PA in the field. So, I mean, that's most carries that are going to be BKB carries, but I wonder if there's something unique that they have in mind. Okay.
Is
You like this?
I don't know, because I like PA actually versus Razor. I think you have the stuns on Talon is a big concern. So PA is going to be very mobile through these fights. So you can always just get away from the static link. It's not
5 seconds remaining.
like, doesn't Pugna do okay into Razor? You pretty mobile. You just go boots. I guess Tiny's going to do nothing. So Razor should still farm, but I feel like Pugna gets a decent amount out of it. And I think you pick the hero because of how strong the Razor is in the lane.
Dire team
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad pick by any means, but it's not like, okay, yeah, wow, this is sick. Their draft looks amazing with this Razor. It just seems like a hero they've set up to have at least a decent game. Like you mentioned, the PA has easy ways to maybe break the static link with the Phantom Strike away. At the same time, also, if you jump on the Razor and you get static link, often you're just going to do so much physical burst damage that you can kill the Razor even while being linked as well, unless Razor gets like super tanky with some armor items. So,
team pick.
I don't know what obvious carry stood out that would have been better. There was a lot of bans onto most of the carries, so perhaps it's just a situation where they felt like there was nothing that was going to be better. Ooh,
this is
more
scary.
Pop up PA, yeah.
Ooh.
Alacrity PA now.
Void Spirit's not there, so you can't jump the Invoker. I'm trying to think, because you need a position to on Makoto that can get on the Invoker throughout this game.
Yeah, they've got this Earth Spirit who jumps in, but nobody else really jumps in the same way. Like maybe mid to late game, you get a Blink Dagger on KP's Death Prophet like we saw last game, but options are limited. Like there's a Storm Spirit. It's not the best Storm Spirit game. I don't love the mid lane Storm into Invoker either. So other than that, you're maybe looking like at some throwbacks, some like Wind Ranger type picks. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Makoto's Wind Ranger come back, but I think the mid pool is looking a little bit limited here.
It's an okay puck game. Nothing crazy.
Sure. That may be the safe option. Yeah, good call.
Choose your hero.
Oh, they can still kill him throughout this game. Like it's not a free puck game, but I do want to mention that Makoto he's looked top tier throughout this spring tour. So I think even not being in the greatest game, Makoto will pull something out of the hat.
Yeah, he's just one of these players who just seems to be in amazing form right now. At the same time, the guy's playing, I think, Azura. He is the stand-up player. He is the star of this Army Geniuses roster. So I'm definitely looking forward to see that mid matchup, and also just how things kind of play out in the mid game, because both Invoker and Puck are two heroes that are going to want to rotate and make a lot of plays around the map, assuming we see the Quaswex or an Invoker, which I think is just the best way to play the hero. So two very active mid laners once the laning stage kind of ends.
I actually really like Army Genius's lineup. I think you've got a strong lane with Phantom Assassin Grimstroke. I think you can enable him very heavily as the game goes on, especially with the Alacrity now on the Invoker. I'm a bit concerned on how you can make plays. It's reliant on Tiny's Blink, and of course Invoker having a pretty solid time and snowballing from there. For Talon, I can also see the avenue to victory for them. I think they're going to have a huge timing around BKBs, but if you go later and later, PA takes over this game. So do you feel like PA gets there, or can Talon end this game at a pretty early stage?
I think Talon will improve on what they did game one. Like, I would lean more towards Talon for my prediction here, just because I think the way they play around this Death Prophet, get these early towers, take Roshan, and really just outfarm their opponents. Like, yeah, the PA eventually maybe can carry this game, but I feels like if Talon play things in the early to mid game well, they're going to get like a too big of a gold lead. Like 10k turns into 15 to 20k gold lead, and then PA's like going to be the only hero with farm on this dire side. So I think Talon are probably the better team as shown by their results so far. So would lean their way.
Yeah, well, honestly, now that you mention it, I don't know. Do I want to fight? I'll stick with it, but I'm actually looking at the PA and I'm like, hang on. Is he going to get farmed? Because you're going to have, like, even though the PA Death Prophet, it's okay in the lane because you can always get away from the Siphon, DP's still going to be able to take a very early tower, and PA does not farm in the jungle early at all. You've got a Puck that's going to be able to rotate, and I'm a bit concerned about the early game from from Army Geniuses, and I think the early game is, like, that's the stage of Dota right now. It seems like a lot of the teams in a lot of their interviews are saying, you have to be quick. You have to just play incredibly fast. I think Talon can do that. So maybe I'm going to backpedal, actually. If Daniel goes here, he'd be roasting the shit out of me. So,
you're just copying my prediction. What is this?
yeah.
Look, I'll sell you an army. They have potential for that PA lane to go well. This is PA Grimstroke, you know?
That's true.
If KP isn't like efficient with his Spirit Siphon usage, or if he just gets jumped on and bursted, like early, I think PA is always this deceptively strong laning hero that surprisingly gets a lot of kills, particularly when laning with like a hero like Grimstroke or a Weaver where there's minus armor from bugs. So they need that lane to go well. I think they need kills in the safe lane and also to come out like basically ahead if they want this PA to have a good game.
And we're already seeing DBs thinking about itemizing to the Orb Corrosion. So this, I really, really like this. We saw it a lot where I think prior, I don't even know if it was Gamers Galaxy, I think even before that, where you have a huge level 2 spike. If you're able to get the Orb Corrosion just instantly with your level 2, with the Grimstroke as well, you will get kills. So 100% on board that. I think Army Geniuses are looking to play a little bit more off the back of this instead of just a farming lane.
And level 2, Death Prophet only has the one Spirit Siphon, and it's not exactly doing a huge amount of damage or restore, so we'll see. But Army Geniuses need to have a good lane stage, and that's always going to be tricky. You've got Razor up top, who should do pretty well, even against a ranged core and Pugna, but is early on getting bullied a bit.
So I've always been impressed with Hostler or Narman, especially prior teams, Neon, and even on Army Geniuses. I think he's been the standout. He had the KDA didn't look good for him in game 1, but he did have some solid plays where I'm like, okay, this tiny 4 could still do something. I don't think he's going to have a second bad game in a row.
I would agree with that. I think definitely last season when he was on Obi Neon, right?
Yep.
Was he?
Yep.
Yeah. He looked really. He looked like one of their stand-up. I'm surprised he didn't stay on Obi Neon again. Another Savage.
What's good? Dude, what is this combo? Oh, Narman gets first blood. That's what you need, Parker. You need first blood. Give it to the Tiny. Get those earlier items closer to the Blink.
Yep. They need that lane to go well. And I think, bottom lane, they've already got the Orb of the Blightstone. DB gets Inksoul. You can see they're looking. They know what they need to do in this lane. Like, even when he doesn't blink in there because they disengage, like, they're actively trying to make plays on the Army Geniuses side in the safe lane.
The issue is, though, you need the lane to play with, and the position that it's in at the moment is very difficult for you because the Inkspell's not an instant stun, so they're going to be able to reposition slightly closer to the tower. So eyes on how they can open up this small camp and kind of pull the lane back in favor of AG.
Yeah, I think so far the way Hyde and KP are playing this lane has been really good. Hyde is just, he's not trying to harass, he's just saving his spell. So if they go in with a PA, he can always use that boulder smash to kind of push him away, dodge an ink swell, or at least make it so that the PA can't keep right clicking because he's already blinked in. I think as long as Hyde defensively, saves his spells, there's no real way to kill them. And
like you mentioned before, both the position 2s have a lot of potential to make these rotations. I think that's going to come down to around the 6-minute mark with the first power runes and probably the ultimates picked up and more levels on Azura. So all eyes on that. Like if Army Geniuses, if they, like bottom lane in particular, if they try and make that dive attempt and they're close to the tower, Makoto's probably going to TP down, land coil, and all of a sudden that's just a bad play from Radiant.
Yeah, so far it seems even-ish in this mid lane. So Azura getting some nice denies under the enemy tower, but don't imagine either player is going to pull away. Even Makoto getting low, he knows Azura's out of mana, so little Azura can do right now when he's depleted like this.
They still yet with the Orb of Corrosion on DB, so a little bit later than what they were hoping. I don't know what...
You may not buy it still. Like, I feel like if you're not getting those kills...
Nice kick back.
KP's
got the second point in Cypher now. Breeze has to use a more defensive ink spell just to deter Talon, but KP's got a Crypt Swarm up in a couple of seconds. Verify pops, so Breeze is not going to be in that threshold where they can get the kill. Top lane though, Savage is tossed back under the tower. Wami's already chucked out an early Nether Blast. He's got some one charges to play with. Savage, just clicked him on the plasma field and he can run away and be fine and dandy. They will trade the life for Q in the end. And he's going to deny himself again.
That was nice. I thought he could have TP'd and lived, but he makes the smarter choice. He TP's home, then he's going to walk to lane, and he's just wasting a lot of time. But by dying to tower, he didn't lose any money because he bought his gloves of haste. It's just, you give away some gold, but you're just saving time and getting more farm. As a carry, that's the much better way to play it. Who cares KDA?
No, KDA, no matter for me. Although, it's just efficiency. That's the name of the game. We see carry players are super efficient now.
Yeah, I think a lot of players are learning. Like, it was the old school, like, Bebby and Dubu way of playing 5 position where it's like, okay, I used all my spells. I'm going to go beat the tower now.
Febby still does that. Febby definitely, when we casted the TNC Lil Gun game, he was like 3 denies to himself and early on. I'm like, oh, yep, sometimes you never change. DB, yeah, they're going to jump KP. Yeah. They've got level 4 now with the Orb of Corrosion, so a big power spike for Army Genius, and they use this perfectly.
That was so cool. They actually used Blur to initiate. He didn't see the PA coming in because he was blurred up. That was very nice with the gank there. Has the Orb of Corrosion, yeah. So the kill threat between these two is something that, KP has to be very wary of.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Trying to look at top lane and seeing how this is continued. We've had a lot of aggression early, but this is what we were thinking in the draft. Savage's last hits aren't looking the greatest.
Yeah, Razor and a Pugna, like they know Womi's. He's the Pugna player. He's the level 30 Grandmaster tier Pugna player. Like he's gonna play it every single time Army Geniuses pick it. And Razor, typically you're one play this here against melee offlaners. I guess they're just thinking against the other cores, the PA particularly. The Razor may be okay later on, but it does, there's concerns about you pick a Razor and you have a slow start. This hero is just never going to be quite as
Radiant's
effective.
middle tower is under attack.
This is huge though. Zura's got lucky enough to be able to find the power rune, so no DD for Makoto. Top lane, yeah, Nama. So able to get the combination along with Wami. Savage going to try and step in though and hold back Army Geniuses. Also got a TP from Azura, so he's going to look to connect. A long-range tornado on the mark. And now Savage, he's going to go down for his 3rd time this game. I know you were saying about the deaths don't matter, Parker, but they are stacking up.
Yeah. The death to tower doesn't matter. These deaths are... Yeah, they're a little worrying. I thought he knew a TP might, because he could have chased with that static link, and then he didn't chase. And I was like, okay, he knows that if he chases, they're going to TP tower and, kill him. But they TP tower, and he still sticks around. So it felt like he kind of knew Invoker might TP, but he didn't, commit to the idea and fully back off. So very good move from Azura. Unfortunately, he doesn't have an urn. I guess maybe he's just not going it. So no urn charges yet on the Invoker.
They don't have like any other earned carrier as well, so
Yeah.
right? How much is earned? You have 840. You'd have enough. Okay, just buys it outright. Didn't want some of the smaller components.
Yep. He'll have that now, so we expect him to keep being active. I think the same for Makoto. Both mid laners need to be helping out these side lanes, particularly anytime there's somebody just pushing up a little too deep. Try and find these early kills. And I imagine Talon probably say, like, we need to help our Razor out. Like, he can't afford to just have this bad start. So someone like Puck and Earth Spirit are going to be the ones who have to make some plays to help him out.
He's in trouble. Nice use of the Observer Ward. Varese and DB once again combining together to find another kill. DB, top of the net worth. I gotta sing praises to Varese. He's done a very good job just mirroring the movements of the Earth Spirit. They dropped the ward by the outpost, which has meant that Hyde has got nothing out of these early rotations.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Nice from
attack.
Norman, too. Snipes the rune, so good rune securing, too. Army Geniuses getting these kills, winning the rune battle. They had both runes secured. Regardless of where it spawned, they would have either gotten on the Invoker bottom or their support top, so denying these runes from Puck, I mentioned how they need Makoto to start thinking about making some plays to help the team out, create some space. It's a lot harder to do that when you don't have rune control. Coil mid.
Triple is the Invoker. They get the break, but it's further away from the Makoto. And now Azura's like, oh, yeah, you barely tickled me. And now with my support rotations, I can continue to pursue on for more. This Hyde's going to end up going down.
Radiant's middle tower
And they
is
will
under
also get the
attack.
Grimstroke as well. I look top real quick, which, okay, should have stuck around a little bit longer as Wommy does get the kill on Q. So in the end, 2-for-1 across the map. They are continuing to
Radiant's
chase
bottom tower
Savage.
is under attack.
Narman with Tranquil.
He's got fast. Okay. Savage, you don't want to farm that camp, my friend. But yeah, they kind of baited themselves there. Talon, they saw, so Invoker mid was TPing top to go look. There was a fight about to happen, and he's under a ward. Another kill. They found Q again. He just respawned.
Just deep into the outpost, and there were two heroes there.
Radiant's bottom tower
Okay.
has fallen.
Army Geniuses are just owning this early game. Like, Azura is trying to be active, and even when his coil cancels his TP top, they still won the fight top without the Invoker. And Invoker wasn't even close to dying mid.
KP bottom lane. He just used the exorcism for the tower. It's level 7. A lot tankier than what they would be hoping for Army Geniuses. And now with Makoto in the neighborhood, land a coil. Let's see if they got the burst throughout the coil stun lock. PA can always Phantom Strike to safety. Makoto's used the combination as well, so DB just survives thanks to the raindrops and wand.
Always by raindrops. And he's got urn charges to heal him back up, so he's not even going back to base. Azura helping his buddy out there. 10-minute rune is going to come up, and it looks like Puck is too far away from it to secure it,
Dire's
so
top tower is under
really good
attack.
defensive play from Army Geniuses. Securing the farm they need to onto DB's PA. You know, he's getting a bit slower now because he's been forced away from that lane, but he's still top of the net worth.
Which is, it's scary. I mean, a Phantom Assassin could be a decent laner if you combine him perfectly with a support, but often we see this hero just shoved out of the lane early, and then you need a lot of time to catch up and work towards a Battle Fury. Smoke up towards the high ground. Narman and Azura combined together. Makoto's in prime position to pop this, and maybe even better with Hyde nearby to be able to kill off Narman. Looked up the first Magnetize of the game, and almost brought down Hyde, but not enough burst from Narman.
Is under attack.
Good positioning from Talon, ready for that move. I think they see Pugna pressuring this top tower, so they were expecting this rotation to happen. And yeah,
This
Womey
TP
is
is
there
going to be quick. Oh, yes, there is a coil indeed. They just keep the tower alive on 24 health, and they get the kill on Womey as well.
That was just so well read by Talon. They see Pugna
Dire's top tower
spamming this
has
top
been
T1 tower, and they know
destroyed.
he can't push this alone. There's going to be a rotation from other players to help him out. They position so that they scout the smoke into the jungle, they kill those heroes, and they just beeline it to Womey, use the glyph to stop the tower going down, and
Look at this.
quickly enough.
They know the orb was just used to farm up the leaves, so that's when Narman and Azura are going to step in to kill off Makoto. Whoa, Makoto! Oh my, what a baller. Just makes it out. Make sure no one
Don't give him a
stands.
tough target.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
He'll be fine. But yeah, pushing things to the limit a bit. Makoto going to stack some jungle camps and secure a bounty rune.
Radiant's middle
Efficient
tower is under attack.
Play from the Puck.
It's also been a little bit of time where Savage can catch up, and in fact, he's third in net worth as well. So those 3 prior deaths and nothing when the Razor has this maxed out plasma field.
Just using it to efficiently hit multiple camps, farm stacks, even just popping his ultimate off cooldown to farm the jungle too, it seems. So just going full farm, full greed mode. I think this is totally the way Razor kind of should be played these days, and this is how it was getting played last patch, where it's like you just play around this BKB timing, then you fight actively, and then you go into this refresher with double BKB, double ultimate, and just huge amounts of team fighting potential.
They are trailing a 0. Okay, no, Makoto's not going to jump. Now it's actually Army Geniuses that are moving to KP's location. Doesn't really have much to prevent the magical damage. They have to be on point with their stuns, though. They only have 1, so KP... Oh, well, there you go. They're not on point, so KP just TP's out.
Nope. Easily done. And yeah, I think the concern for Army Genius is this last couple of minutes going for that tier 1 tower and that smoke up there really backfired, and that set them back. And now, you know, this game's going to slow down, and PA's going to take some time to come online. Needs not just the Battle Fury, but generally that second item. The Battle Fury plus BKB, sometimes it's Deso before BKB, but PA doesn't suddenly become ready to fight with a Battle Fury. It takes a couple of items. And Talon, their items are all coming online way quicker.
Yeah, you're going to have Witchblade along with multiple BKBs. KP once again has gone for the first item BKB, and looks like Savage is mirroring this as well.
God, Wormy just making this Pugna look so annoying. He just like face plants himself against a T1 tower, nether blasts it, life drains Puck under the tower. They seem to know where this PA is, but it doesn't look like they're going to pick him off.
Dire's structures are
Does
fortified.
kind of distract them, though, from defending the T1 tower. So in the end, Wummy with the backstab blast is going to be able to take this. So this is a little bit more map control and, more importantly, just time for PA to get closer to her items.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Wormy
attack.
just ran in and zoned the Puck, taking away like 2/3 of his health. So after that, there was just no way for them to defend anymore. And Army of Geniuses, I think, knowing this, feel like they can maybe make something happen.
Nice Tornado Zero once again clipping onto the Earth Spirit. They're close to objectives. Makoto has freshened up in the resource department, and Dire, they have all their ultimates to take the fight. The beautiful Magnetize is just stalling out the aggression.
Is under attack.
Makoto finds a double kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As the phase shift. But yeah, KP didn't even come to that fight. That was, I mean, I guess like a 4v4. PA was also not really there, but Talon just punishing the overcommitment. Weaver did a good job getting onto the backlines. I believe, yeah, they kind of tossed in the Earth Spirit, and he was just like, thanks for the free ride into the middle of things. I'll happily magnetize everyone. So good little turnaround. I think Army Genius is maybe just getting a little bit too eager to make plays happen. They still don't have this tiny Blink Dagger. They need to just chill out for a little bit.
Yeah, they're making plays bottom. They spy KP, but they also see Makoto and Hyde nearby, so a toss closer to the tower. But a beautifully placed Sans means that Wummy doesn't get any damage out through the combination. It's just something that KP has to respect as a Tornado clipping onto him. Even DB wants to show up, man. 5 heroes from Army Geniuses, and all they net is the KP kill.
Yeah, they
Radiant's
kept
middle
Norman
tower
alive,
is under
which is,
attack.
I guess, nice because he's working on this very important Blink Dagger. But you bring in all 5 like that, they were definitely hoping to get a little more. And they're going to instantly smoke up and look for that next kill. Thinking they've maybe got the control to kill off this Puck. Norman's got to get the initiation he's hoping for on Makoto here.
At the lane ward, so toss in, looking for the Phantom Embrace the start. And they're going to fight it now, so Makoto will pop. It's a big one to get as Wummy gets the streak. He's got 1,500 gold in the bank as well from the Pugna, so his next item's going to come out shortly along with the Battle Fury Parker now completed.
There's a cool combo I didn't really think of till now is that Decrep with Phantom's Embrace. There's no way to attack the Phantom on you to get rid of it. You're just permanently silenced.
It's because we've seen whenever mainly Thompson is pretty much running it on the Grimstroke too, but it's always that E-Blade first item, and it's kind of just the same. You never kind of click together about this Pugna Decrep. I always keep missing it even though we see the E-Blade.
Quick Ball's coming out, and I think Army Genius will be pretty happy with that Makoto kill. At the same time, this is this stage of the game where Talon have been happily kind of slowing things down because double BKB is just about to come out on Death Prophet and Razor. So that's really their big power spike on Talon. They can go for any tower or objective that they would like to. They can take Roshan should they win any team fight. And PA is just not going to be ready to join the fight. So it feels like, one team has all 5 heroes ready to go, and the others, trying to use 4 heroes to create space for the PA. Not to mention, one of those 4 heroes, Tiny, doesn't really want to fight until he has a Blink Dagger.
I think one thing we've noticed so far is that Talon really like giving a lot of space to this KP Death Prophet. We saw it in game 1. He popped the EXO for the offlane tower. Then he wasn't really using EXO until I think the second one was actually used with his level 12, which is not what we see often. Like when it's a position 2 Death Prophet, it's always mentioned. You have to convert on towers, you have to convert on towers. But I kind of like what Talon are doing, because KP can hit a huge spike. If he gets BKB and level 2 EXO at the same timing, then he is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, they're collapsing on top of Zero in trouble.
Nice sidestep. Now with this extra room, are they committing? I guess Savage just got BKB, so he's going to feel pretty comfortable. Veriz and Naman looking to show up, but they've already lost the life of Azura. Will be covered from the full BKB duration.
Yeah. And Hyde needs the mana for the roll.
Oh,
He's
no.
got to walk in one.
Oh,
roll.
What? No, the creep. I think he tried to deny the creep so he could...
Yeah, that's such a tricky spot because you can't actually block that roll because he's just kind of trapped in the corner. But nice kill on the Invoker. They find the PA farming here, but I don't think KP's... Yeah, he's just going to do some zoning here. But yeah, what you're saying about KP is pretty interesting because, yeah, he's 0-2 and 0. He's taken this bottom tier 1 tower. He's kind of been playing this, like, slower, greedier DP style. Like, I think a lot of people, like, you watch it, you see KP scores 0-2, only 1 tower taking, like, man, what's he doing? He's being useless. But he's farmed up BKB and just prioritized this 15 to 20 minute power spike over making plays happen in the early game. So whether or not this is good or not is going to depend on how this game goes over the next 5-10 minutes.
But I think they have to go now, though. We've seen kind of that one fight with the BKB top from Savage. But now that you have it along with Death Prophet, Makoto's even almost got yours, so he's going to be much more survivable. You cannot continue to let this Phantom Assassin farm freely.
Yeah. They want to make some plays. You see Radiant, they're scanning the Roshan. They know that this lineup kills Rosh so easily, and that Talon, they're ready to run at them. They're going to either go for Roshan, go for team fights. Razor does show mid, so they have an idea of where this smoke is coming. The fact they don't see the Razor with that plasma field should kind of tell them everything they need to know, that they need to hide. The problem is you don't know where they're smoking to necessarily. They are drawing circles, so they seem to have a pretty good idea.
It's an awkward smoke because KP's not here with them. Definitely want the Death Prophet for the fight. Naman looking over the blink. Straight over towards Q's Weaver, so a great pick off the start, but now Talon just swarming behind the tier 1 as Naman easily brought down from Savage. Another triangle. They've got a great ward positioning as well, so Talon can now move their forces with a coil lock. There's going to be no escape from the Phantom Assassin, who is priority #1. And Talon showed just that. They even clutched Wami on the outskirts of the Roche pit, so 4 for nothing. And alrighty, that's the timing we were mentioning, and now they go into Roche.
I was thinking they would use this BKB timing and either like get a smoke for a pick off on Roshan. I didn't expect them to win a massive team fight on Roche. This is like dream scenario. And honestly, the hero of that team fight was Q's Weaver. He just suicides in. I honestly think what he did was intentional. They're going to try and contest this Roche though with X's down.
Naman just brute forcing to the middle, but he's not giving over free damage for the Razor.
Yeah. Doesn't quite get the initiation he'd hoped for. And so much of these fights comes down to vision. That's where Weaver, I was going to say, like, he just Shikuchi's into, like, the enemy T1 tower.
Do you see the choreo?
I did not. Was he trying to, what was he trying to do? Was it...
Fuck, that's a great question. It looked like he was just...
Roshan?
Yeah, he was just setting the choreo in front of the pit. I don't know what.
You can't steal stuff with Kura anymore. That was patched out quite some time ago. Maybe just forgetting about that?
Was it patched? Because I thought you can't see... Well, hang on a second. Azura with the double damage. Okay, but he's going to pop BKB instantly, so getting rid of the Orchid. And Makoto has coil back up as well, so Azura stepping over the boundary, and Talon, it looks like they won't even need... Okay, well, let's up the coil now. Real quick, yeah, about Roche. I thought you couldn't get vision of it with the Koro, but I thought you could still steal stuff.
Correct. Yeah, but you need to, so you can steal stuff, but you need a way to get the vision, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
So yes.
Maybe he was going to Sunstrike for it or something? I don't know.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense, yeah.
Bounty.
Anyways, yeah, this Earth Spirit pick's looking really good, and I think a big reason of why they pick it is because it counters and
Radiant's
deals
top
with what the
tower is
Pugna
under
does
attack.
very well. You can always get on top of the Pugna, but the rolling boulder is a 4-second cooldown, so very short cooldown stun against Pugna, who is
Radiant's
always
top
going to be,
tower
you know,
is under
standing
attack.
still when he's life draining, is amazing. So I think the Pugna is not as impactful this game, largely because of Hyde's Earth Spirit.
Naaman doesn't drop the combo. Once again, it's Army Genius just on the opposite side of the map, and Naaman's just given over as a sacrifice. Hyde puts him on the platter. Savage like, yes, sir, I'll take the kill. Okay, peace. Well, I'll get in his set. They got a tier 1 mid, very low health, so they'll soon claim that.
A prize.
It's something for him, but it's still this stage of the game where Army Genius is just like, yeah, we
Radiant's
really need
middle
this
tower
PA
is under
to
attack.
kind of come online. I think you're looking at
Radiant
BKB,
are
and ideally
scanning.
level 18. That third point in coup de grace really just boosts up that burst potential for the PA.
Radiant's
So they're
middle tower
almost
is
there.
falling.
There's, you know, going to be some fight in Army Genius soon, but then, now they've also kind of got to wait out this Aegis to expire as well, or take a risky fight into it.
You can also now itemize for the Phantom Assassin. See, Savage has got the casual plate mail that we get often after the BKB and before refresher.
Dire are scanning.
KP's also going casual plate mail next as
Radiant's
well.
top tower is
So
under
you
attack.
need a lot of
Radiant's
items now in the
top
Phantom
is
Assassin to actually
fortified.
do damage in these fights.
Plate mail, it's like one of the only items in the game you'll just casually buy for the stats it gives.
Makoto?
No one buys a
He's about to
casual-
run into the sentry. But still, he's got Hyde once again, just rolling it aggressively.
Doesn't need
Last
this.
second, Yule Scepter. Makoto, of course, has the Aegis. Now getting reclaimed. BKB from KP, looking to continue to chase into the middle of the fight. But Army Geniuses, they're doing their best to evacuate it away from the area. Wami's TP! All right, they've got a Yules to cancel. What more can they get from Talon? A 1-for-1, and that's a victory for Army
got Narman,
Geniuses.
yeah.
All right, yeah, they got Naaman.
He was getting toyed around with by the puck. They did break the Aegis now, so I think, you know. Oh no. Okay.
Ooh.
Phantom strikes.
Q. He gets punished. DP. He's showing up. He's level 18. BKB. This is the timing I mentioned. So when they will respawn and reset, I think we're going to see Army Geniuses look to start making some moves. They do not need to be as afraid of Talon anymore. And particularly fighting before this Razor Refresher, I think is going to be a lot nicer for them than waiting for it to come out.
And it's also Radiant, they're not reliant on these big cooldowns like Dire off. You just get up and go. I love the call for them to make a play. And you see that they got to be cautious where they do it
Radiant's
though.
middle tower is
Very
under attack.
deep and almost peculiar ward by the kind of cliffside on Radiant's triangle. So it is giving some information on Talon. Let's see it. Come on. Go for the smoke. Still got the BKB yet to utilize. Onto DB.
Bit low on mana. Team fight. Okay, there we go. You've got Pugna. You've got the fountain, mobile fountain.
Savage, just a great pick off, but he's got BKB. Naaman's not going to toss him closer to the team. Savage able to try and play around with the static link, but instantly disjointed. So a quick BKB TP. Savage actually cancels it. Hang on, Savage? He cancelled his TP. Army Geniuses, though, this is a tier 1 tower. They got to be cautious, but DB doesn't give a damn. Jumping over the secret shop, they get rid of Savage's life, and on the higher ground, Wami runs into Hyde. A 2-for-0 and a costly mistake.
Yeah. I think he got baited by the puck. Makoto was just doing Makoto things. He's like, I'm just going to orb into 5 enemy heroes and get out because I'm a puck. And I think 23 Savage saw it. He's like, oh, my puck, he's silenced too. He might throw a Dream Coil. I should cancel my TP, but no. I think 23 Savage there just has to commit to that TP, ignore the puck. Maybe just a bit of miscommunication. Again, it's not about whose fault it is or anything. It's just like the team as a whole didn't communicate what was going on well. And the end result is great for Army Geniuses. They're, in this position now where they can win these team fights and really look to get some map control to try and secure themselves next Roshan.
Naaman, once again, farming very aggressively. He's got Variz along with Wami behind him. Makoto's starting to backstab. He's going to run underneath vision shortly, so Army Genius will have the information of this, but Hyde, another incredible roll, clipping Naaman along with the Magnetize and AG. They're scrambling to look to get out of the fight. DB, though, he wants a way to enter. Inkspell looking to enable that. Q so
Dire's top
goddamn
tower is
pesky.
under attack.
And DP's still ready to fight. Level 20 with BKB. This Alacrity PA, something you have to really respect in these team fights, even with these casual plate mails. I think we'll see some of these Talon heroes really melt to the burst potential from this PA when she has BKB up.
If DB gets Scardy somehow, I don't think Talon are going to let that happen before another fight, but especially with Refresher now. But this is I think this is a game-winning item on DB. It is mega value versus Talon.
Oh, yeah. It's going to feel pretty nice. And just, makes him a bit tankier, buffs him up a bit. He can just... It helps you fight the Razor a lot because you're just not going to get kited as much when you've got this slow from the Skadi. Everything about it is just going to feel great in these fights.
A prize.
I think you're hoping right now that it's a long Roche spawn, so it's more time for PA to get farmed, because that's the objective really Talon are waiting for. Maybe a zero of those underneath that deep ward.
Using those forward spirits to get some good scouting, but they're getting picked off.
Freeze the target, hide. A deep dive under the T2 tower. They're not looking to jump in until DB finds an angle, but still, they've got to be cautious. Double Eye the Storm on Razor, just ripping apart the life of Narman. DB finds an angle to be able to blink out. This is a heavy commitment on Talon. Multiple ultimates, and now they can think about going back in if they find an opportunity. You smoke? Do they have one?
Dire's
Womey
bottom
just able to
tower is under
instantly
attack.
heal up his PA, who maybe they don't have one. Tiny's got the smoke in his backpack here, so they can. I think they just push out and hope for an early Roche spawn themselves now because no exorcism. Razor used Refresher, double ulti. I guess the ulti's pretty low cooldown, so we'll have at least one soon. But it's Army Geniuses who gotta feel super strong right now. They're just keeping. It took so long to kill the Grimstroke there. He got kept alive by that life drain from Pugna.
DB? Okay, he's chilling.
Takes the rune. Long Roche spawn, 2 minutes though.
That was really the big next timing Talon we're looking for with this Razor Refresher. So now that they didn't really convert with this, it's a lot more time for Army Geniuses.
They're going to find a way to get on top of this Pugna. Pugna's like the, I think, key to Army Geniuses just fights looking as good as they do. It's just constantly, anytime they disengage with PA, she gets healed back up. Anyone getting jumped on is being healed up. It's just such a pesky hero to play into when you can't address it. So, between Puck and Earth Spirit, they've got good ways to jump the backline. They've just got to find Womey.
Oh, now even Blink on Savage. KP's even going for a Blink as well. So they will have multiple ways and just to jump the Pugna to make sure the Invoker can't freely spam abilities out in these fights.
Both teams posturing, though. They know Roche can respawn any second. They don't have the info we do that it is going to be a long Roche respawn.
So what we do... Oh, Makoto's under vision. Alright, well, we do have a little bit of time away. Do you feel like Radiant can scale because of how... Makoto didn't go... So not Makoto. Azura didn't go Midas. So his net worth is about 3,000 behind the Puck. Do you feel like this is a concern that they can't really keep up with their Phantom Assassin?
Yeah, I think definitely a slight concern that they're all in on this PA. Like, the Invoker's just playing like this. I'm going to, 4 Protect 1. Let's buff up PA. Alacrity her, life drain her, and just really hope she does everything in these fights. The problem's going to become that BKB currently 9 seconds. Has yet to use it, but it's not always going to be the
finds an
case.
angle in, Q. Minimal timing. He uses that with the time lapse, so a full reset.
I think games like this, when they slow down, this is where Invoker's wishing he had a Midas. I don't think he's gotten enough value from this Orchid pickup. Could have gone back for it after the Midas. But Invoker's going to be a little bit less farmed and just under-leveled because of the lack of Midas and the fact he's, been such an active hero this game.
So I know you were mentioning about Talon, their prime target is trying to bring down Womey at the start. Who is it for Army Geniuses, though? Who are they looking to try and clean off at the start on Talon's roster?
That's a bit trickier. I think you want to punish this Earth Spirit as much as possible. Anytime he rolls in, like we've seen the last few fights, Hyde, he's starting to get burst a lot. His BKB is actually a pretty crucial item because I feel like anytime he's rolled in on the, support or the Invoker, Tiny will just combo him. So I think Earth Spirit, great target. Otherwise, you need to try and like catch someone like a Puck by surprise. I think for Army Genius, it's less about a key target and more about just playing around their BKBs. When Razor double ulties with BKB, you disengage. Don't give him a good static link, and don't let him fight around that refresher.
This is where kind of the nerf comes into play on the Puck, not having the potential Aghanims with the coil. Makoto's a very high level, 21, so if you can get towards that 25, then that's a great way to amplify Savage.
Yep. No, I think that's a very good point because, yeah, in the past, you'd be like, okay, eventually we get the Sags and suddenly this BKB PA can actually be controlled. But, yeah, Puck will not have the BKB answers in this game or this patch.
His Ags is atrocious. I don't know if we're ever going to see a Puck go for this Aghanims after.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but maybe that's where Puck's just going to be trying to get to that level 25. Is still, 21. It sounds closer than it really is. It gets a lot harder to find those. Unless you're getting fights and killing like high-level heroes, getting to that 25 is still going to take him quite a bit of time here.
This game is slowing down while Roche is a opportunity for either side, but it looks like Talon not really slowing down with their farm. The net worth lead continuing to grow, so they are edging out, at least in that regard. I'm trying to see if there's any other big timings soon to be completed. I think second smoke in the past minute as well from Talon, so really looking to convert on this one now. It's a long wrap around towards the triangle, which Naaman is not in a position to join his team. Zero on the front. Q's gonna lead. They drop the ward, so they got all the vision they need, and Azura just has to try and hope he can BKB to escape, but Savage makes sure that's not a possibility. DB flying over the tree line, but he doesn't have the damage in itself to try and killing off 23 Savage, and then they're back on the Phantom Assassin. Soaking away his damage. A Phantom Strike to the creeps. Beautifully placed. Towards the T2 tower we go. There's one me. Life draining away from the Earth Spirit. He gets the roll out, so he's going to be okay. Simultaneously, Makoto gets a kill. Wonmi as well joins him in the feed, but it's not going to matter as Talon continuing on with their strong game here. They find another good fight.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Just anytime they can get on top of these key heroes with the Razor and that hero can't disengage, like the PA, you blink away. They need maybe some force stops or something, but like the Invoker getting jumped on there, his BKB is useless. Like this Razor's on top of him just shredding through his health because of all the physical damage, and unfortunately it just meant like DB on PA is like, okay, I gotta help my Invoker. If Invoker dies, we lose his fight, but he doesn't deal with the Razor BKB. He tries to protect his Invoker, but there's just nothing he can do, so Roche secured, great team fight. And Talon, yeah, gets a little low. They do not have the fastest roaching lamp, but they get the job done.
Not the greatest DD game for Talon, so Makoto's going to snag that one. We did see in that fight, though, DB, the recognition from him that he can man fight the Razor, especially if it's not static linked. We saw him kind of jump over, try and bring him down. I think that'll be a little bit easier once he gets the, especially level 20 Talon on Azura with the buffed up Alacrity. But I think you also need, well, 25 is a great way. Oh, he didn't go, he actually went for the Stifling Dagger instead of the Burst.
Yeah, I think this is fine. Just because they're on the back foot, I think they're just going to be, not looking to maybe defend their base a bit against this Aegis Razor, so that's where having this triple dagger can feel pretty nice. But
sure.
I think they're going to have some issues dealing with Makoto's Puck as this game drags on, though. If he hits that level 25, he's got Neon Disc queued up. He's just dishing out so much damage in these team fights now with a Kaya and Sanj. The Witchblade damage actually scales really well into the late game as well.
If he's going to run into Q, he doesn't have anyone nearby. Might be forced to use the BKB super early on, but that's something the Phantom Assassin cannot do. Naaman's going to follow suit as well. They're going to be able to blow up Q, but can you really take the fight on Army Genius as well? DB feels so. In fact, the TP out is covered by the BKB. The rest of Army Geniuses, it's going to be Naaman that doesn't escape. So a 1-for-1, including the buyback on the Weaver.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's, they still got to deal with this Aegis, so, and we'll see if Talon want to press forward. It looks like Army Genius almost positioning to try and engage here. They don't have BKB PA though, so
Radiant's bottom
feels like
tower
the
has fallen.
ability to fight into them is just taken away. They don't really have great ways to, defensively save DB in a fight. No Lotus Orbs or anything like that, so they're just gonna, just chill, sit back. Both teams are gonna have to reset, wait for some of these ultis to come back up, and it overall seems okay for Army Geniuses because they're buying time for this Aegis to expire.
They're actually not looking to sit back. Army Genius is smoked without Narman. Savage on the front, but he does have some heroes behind protecting the Razor. Fresh 25 as well, so he's gone for the attack speed.
Yeah, they want to play around their vision. They've got some really nice wards around this triangle, the double observer ward on the cliffs, so they're not going to actively smoke into the enemy, but they are going to hope that Talon's like, okay, we still have Aegis, let's go D-ward, let's go control the enemy triangle, and if Army Geniuses are there waiting for them, they can blow some heroes up with that Alacrity PA.
It's going to be difficult though. He's itemizing more defensively on the Phantom Assassin with the Lincoln, so looking to really prevent Savage in this static link. You're mentioning a lot about just bursting heroes down and not having Abyssal or another item to do, so might make it problematic.
Teams collecting some of their next neutral items, get the tier 4 items up, but it does feel like Talon are just... They're scaling all across the board. Like 3 cores, their supports are getting items like we had a BKB on the Earth Spirit, Aeon Disc queued up. Weaver also has... They're all going for these Aeon Discs, which is an item that PA finds kind of annoying to play into because so much of PA in late game, you want to jump somebody and just burst and blow them up. Now with the Basher as well. So that potential gets taken away when everyone's got an Aeon Disc.
Maybe you're forced to go into a Nullifier, but you see DB's... He feels like Satanic is something that he needs. Maybe he changes his mind when once he does see the Aeons.
Yeah, I think for now he's going to be probably not spending gold until he can fully buy an item. Otherwise, you may as well just have buyback. But like you say, I think changing your mind if he sees like triple Aeon Disc, it's like, okay, Nullifier may just be a necessity. If not him, then somebody else has to, like, maybe you try and use the Tornado or something to reset.
Well, blinks aggressively on top of Narman, and Varese just melts apart the Grimstroke. Savage is doing so much damage. He didn't even steal a whole lot from the static link either.
And that's the really nice thing about Razor's game right now is he can BKB ulti for a support. Like, he's got the refresher, so he always has that second one. And, your BKB on Razor, it doesn't matter if you have a 6-second BKB.
And it's scary because how do you play the fights now on DB against the level 25 on Puck? He's got this Dream Coil piercing. Or DB?
Problem.
Yeah, Savage gonna follow suit. Coil's out, so DB's gonna be in trouble. Just has to stand his ground, and he's gonna do just that. They need a way to be able to deal with Wommy. KP's trying to charge down the Pugna, but you survived the initial use of the coil. Can you survive round 2 though? Silence, DB just gets the Phantom Strike away, but Talon further and further inside the base they go. They want to continue to pursue the Phantom Assassin, and they'll finally get the kill. At what cost though? Army Geniuses looking to find some stragglers. Nama gets the Earth Spirit. KP's not done. Still's got the Exo popping. Gotta respect him. Wommy has dealt so much damage through this fight. KP, he gets healed back through. The Tornado is still on Savage. Oh, he wants to jump back in straight onto the Invoker. Without the buyback on DB, how do Army Geniuses turn this around?
I think they can hold okay just because Talon have used so much. Double BKB, Razor just threw everything out, all his spells. The Puck wants to reset as well, so they're going to hold, but it's a costly one. They don't get any of the key kills. Like, they kill what? A support Earth Spirit and KP's Death Prophet, who, yeah, it's a core, but it's not the important one. And I think DB being dead means, he's not farming, he's not doing anything. It's not like Invoker or Pugna make use of the game kind of stalling out a bit. At this point, Pugna is essentially a support with a lot of farm. Like, you can see Tiny has almost the same net worth. But the way Womi's going to impact these fights is what he did there, which is keep DB alive for a lot longer. It's super good, but at the same time, the worry is, what's he going to do as this game drags on?
Yeah. Savage runs into Womi, and they've got the Nullifier, and now Azura's caught out as well. Savage making quick use of 2 heroes. They have a TP cancel? Oh, you bet they do. Makoto holding the yours, gets 3 across the map, and give him the tips for good measure. DB tips Savage.
Yeah.
Narman died as well, Parker. So Q and Hyde combined together get another kill across the map.
Line expand once
Man,
again.
they're
middle
just
tower is under
picking them
attack.
apart. The PA is dead, and they pushed out. Like, I think Talon's just like, thanks, we'll take all these kills. Their uptime is just, everything's got these low cooldowns. Like, at this point in the game, like Dream Call, under 70 seconds, the Eye of the Storm just feels like it's always up. Razor's just going to blink in, and BKB try kill anybody he sees, so this game's just kind of fallen apart for Army Geniuses here in the late game. When they have the PA, I think they're just kind of, they need to hit this very specific timing, because the longer this game goes, it doesn't look better for PA, because PA's trying to 1v5.
EB, can he catch anyone on the retreat? It's already a full set of barracks. Down to bottom they go. No Pugner for 25. He's so core to these fights.
Oh, KP.
KP does a lot of damage from the fountain. And now DB gets a lucky bash as well, but the Yule's protecting KP. They've laid them down. At least the coil isn't actually really going to provide much without Wommy. There's no way the Phantom Assassin can stand his ground as DB drops and Savage. Now thinking about fountain farming some heroes. But a BKB covers the retreat.
Yeah, you gotta show respect to a Tiny, you know, like there's a few heroes that you may want to fountain dive, but they'll toss you in.
All right. Kodo. Orchid's out, so as the Yules. Hyde's going to have to
He's
put
so
his body on the
powerful.
line to try and distract him as best as possible. We'll get clipped out from a lot of times. Like, no!
Whoa!
Zero's like, please, man, that's not where I want to
no.
be. No
Tiny
one gets
Airlines.
tipped. Oh, that is exactly what we see. Oh, no, Makoto. He's now wanting more. Salt in the
Not done.
wounds.
He's just showing off at this point. 9-1 and 14. Yeah, KP's giving him the tips, but I'm glad we got some Tiny Airlines to round out this game. Talon, this squad, I mean, it ended up being a bit more one-sided. It's not over quite yet, but Army Genius have just definitely played their best Dota, I feel like, in this series. Like, they really stepped up against one of the strongest opponent in Div 2.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I hope there is this vocal person that is able to give them the confidence, as one is just, oh man, Savage 15-4-8.
They did everything to make this Pugnus game miserable. Nullifiers, Earth Spirit Pick, Puck, like all these heroes. It's hard to play into this. Oh, and in the fountain, Makoto, he's not done.
Like, alright, if they're not gonna call it quits, then put yourselves in a position where we just take all of the base, every single building, every single hero. The hope is on DB. Alacrity'd up, trying to find someone. A hope and a
Coil.
prayer, but the coil once again. And without Wommy just to suck him back, get him the health. DB actually? Okay, well, it doesn't matter.
They'll just go for the base. They'll go for the GG. Makoto's having fun, but it's all business for KP and 23.
Alright, Talon. They're now going to be able to follow RSG with a 3-0 start. And this is... whew, they're looking good as well. They are yet to drop a map. Talon, beautiful 2-0 victory.
Yeah, it's, you know, Tour 1. We both followed some Div 2, and Talon, like, they'd go to a match, and it never felt like they were, like, heavy favorites. Like, this Talon for Tour 2, it just feels like the expectation is they're going to 2-0 everybody. This was their closest series yet. It was definitely a great showing from Army Geniuses, but Talon are playing and looking like a Division 1 team right now.
Oh, without a doubt. And I was honestly I was questioning Talon and how they would perform coming into this DPC as well, because they weren't accepting invites to third-party tournaments. You know, we didn't see them at Pro Series. There was, you know, QH, OEDC that they weren't showing up to. There was one tournament that they did just win. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah.
It was some...
It wasn't even on Liquipedia, I remember.
Yes,
It was,
so-
Chipo was telling me because she saw replays on Dota. I was like, oh, I didn't know that tournament existed.
And yeah, that's to say the least on the competition they were versing was, yeah, nothing you'd face in DPC. So I was very intrigued to see how they would still shape up with the lack of practice. But these are, you see the caliber of this roster. And I guess you saw it last season as well. So you can't just rely on that. But Talon are on another level. And with the position they're in right now, 3-0, without a doubt favorites, and they are probably in a position, honestly, to saying they're going to go 7-0, like it's still, they've got a lot of series, but really they potentially could. All they have to do is face RSG and along with TNC, and I think that's the only two remaining teams that could test them.
Yeah, I personally feel like I think they will go 7-0. I will be actually almost surprised if they don't. I think they'll drop a game. Like, this is Dota. Like, they're not versing scrubs. They're versing like some really solid teams. So very good chance they drop a game. But I think every single series they're going to be favorites, and losing 2 games, and the fact it's BO3s, to me is unlikely because of how well Talon are playing. Everything seems to be clicking. They've got a very good understanding of how they want to draft. You see these like common trends and these themes with their drafts. Earlier on it was the IO strats. Now that they're not getting IO, they have these other go-to heroes, the Weaver, the Death Prophet. It just feels like everything is very fine-tuned when it comes to Talon's play, drafts, and obviously the individual skill has always been there. There's never been any question last tour or this tour about any of their players' skill.
Without a doubt. And we do have a winners interview. It's going to be Hyde joining us, so we'll bring him over. Hyde, hello, can you hear us? He's currently muted, so we'll wait for him to unmute on Discord. There we go.
Oh.
Hi, Hyde, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Well, firstly, congratulations on your series victory. You and the lads are looking exceptional at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I know you probably aren't going to go into too much detail about the hero, but we saw recently Team Spirit and Mira, their position 4, they put out a tweet about kind of his thoughts on a tier list on supports. And we saw Earth Spirit was put in the S tier. Do you mirror this? Because you just played the Earth Spirit and you made him look like an S tier hero. Do you think he's that good as well?
Yeah, I think our spirit is pretty good since the cast time of the roll. It's what do you call it? It's really fast now, so they cannot react. Previously, they can see you if you roll, but now they cannot.
Yeah, I mean, personally, we're always excited to see an Earth Spirit come out. Whether you got Q for previous season, Motivate Trust, he always looked good on the Earth Spirit, and then we get to see a higher Earth Spirit as well. So it's always exciting. And just a little bit about, I guess, the preparation overall for DPC. We saw you guys not play in as many third-party tournaments. Were you putting a lot more of your attention on scrims and maybe bonding, or?
Yeah, wait. Yeah, we put a lot of time to scrim, and after that we talk about the scrim. We review the game, what could have done better, something like that. Yeah, mostly scrim actually.
And I got one more question, Parker. I'm just intrigued to see on how Forev, what kind of his role is in the team, and I guess the drafting as well.
Yeah, he's drafting for us, and after the game, he's looking at the replay and see what could have done better, what should we do, and something like that. So it's like he find the balance for us.
Perfect.
Cool. I'm curious for this series. Did Army Genius do anything that caught you by surprise? Like we saw the Pugna 2 games in a row. That hero is becoming more popular, and obviously is a signature pick of Womies. But did anything they do surprise you?
We actually forgot about the Morphling mid. They played a lot, right? And we pick Ember, and after that they pick Morphling. So it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that game was definitely very tight. Were you guys feeling a bit stressed in the late game there?
Not really, since we confidence in our late game. So we we have a throw at least in the tower 3, but we still win anyway.
Awesome. And the last thing, something I kind of asked KP, I'm curious your thoughts as well. You mentioned some of the changes for Talon in this season, Tour 2. Your team is so far not lost a game. How is this Talon team different to the team that played in Tour 1?
I think the difference is we have a lot of time to practice and talk about the game. In season 1, we kind of don't have a lot of time and when we came to the boot camp, we kind of have a problem for our PC and internet, so it's kind of bad in the first season. But now we ready everything, like internet, like we have a good house, and we have a lot of time to practice. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Hi, it's always a pleasure. You guys are an exceptional performer at the moment with the 3-0 start. Is there any shout outs you want to give to the fans or anything like that before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks you guys for supporting us and keep believing in us, even though we don't have a great, what's that called, in the first season. great run. So, but now I feel like we can go to the upper division.
You're in prime position to be able to do that, my good sir. You guys are looking really good. Thank you for joining us, Hyde.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, Parker, there we go. First series done. It's going to be Talon taking it 2-0. We do have some Division 1 games, though, and it's going to be two exciting ones. We're kicking it up first, Execration versus Fnatic, and after that, it is SMG versus T1. So there's some exciting series on deck. We'll do some pre-predictions real quick with those two series. How are we feeling about them?
Ooh, the first one, I think the first one is a bit more clear cut. I want to say, Fnatic, even though they look very shaky, I think Execration have looked even maybe a bit worse, even though Fnatic dropped against OB Neon. So I'm going to go Fnatic. Second series, that's the spicy one because SMG have been doing all kinds of weird offlane picks. I am going to go with T1. I think T1 are going to just keep improving week by week.
Okay.
What about yourself?
For the second series, I'll start with that. I'm probably going to go SMG 2-1. And
Okay.
I think with the first series, I've had the opportunity to cast a lot of Execration in third-party tournaments. I was surprised at how rough the games were versus Neon. So I'm excited to see if they're able to improve that from that, but I'll probably give the edge to Fnatic. I'll say 2-0, actually. So I think they're continuing to improve from them. I know Fnatic a lot of people are saying they're probably a team to take that top 3 slot. So this, for them, you have to get this series victory versus Execration.
Yeah. No, so we disagree on the second. I think I would agree with the same game scores. Yeah, 2-0 for Fnatic, and then I would say 2-1 for T1. But I am very high for that second series.
Yeah.
That is, SMG still trying to maybe get to their first major. They had a narrow, 4th place finish last season. Then they got 3rd place in the regional finals. They're always a team that feels like, they're not put in that same tier with Boom and with T1 and sometimes with Fnatic, but they constantly prove they can beat those teams. Like they seem to have Fnatic's number, particularly being in the regional finals and the league during the group stage last season. So you should never really underestimate SMG. Not that I think any of these teams are doing it. So that series should be great.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I'm a big Ninja Boogie fan, so I'm excited to see him play. And I think he's with them. I know he was in the land shop, I believe that's what they call the land cafe. So I'm not sure if he's with them yet or not. We'll find out later on in the night though. But we are going to have a bit of a break. Probably the panel is going to be up in about 15-20 minutes. So we'll see you guys shortly for Execration versus Fnatic.